Yo! I actually just woke up. How you doing? What's up?
Binary options. Traders take a position on whether a market will finish above a specific target price.
In my defense, I did tell my chat room to wake me up before 5 p.m. Oh man. Brian Zhao. You guys gotta be waking me up. Guys, welcome. How's everybody doing? I apologize for being 4 minutes late. As you know, the life of a crypto trader is a lot of lone and lonely nights. It's sometimes just you, your laptop, and your hands. Right? There's just only so much. That's the way it goes. But what an awesome day for cryptos. Guys, before I even bring on my guest and all that fun stuff, dude, let's go into some cryptos because this is exciting. So we have literally, it feels like we have been spending a damn month talking about when the crypto market changes, when it gets better, you know, when the market gets, you know, that's all it's been. When the market turns, when the moving averages flatten, right? Like all we've been doing is just talking about when the market turns, we will be ready. Well, the market has turned, and it's an awesome thing. It started off with Bitcoin rebounding. It's been doing some of the things that we have been talking about in the last week. And then, lo and behold, the glorious Litecoin has shown the way, and the Lord of Light has spoken and is starting to make its move. And from that, we've got a run starting and potentially a ripple. Man, there's all sorts of hot stuff. So enough of looking at my beautiful face. Let's take a look at the charts. Then in 7 minutes, I'm going to bring up one of my favorite students, David Gamble. I've met him in Tampa. He's a lovely young man. And I don't mean lovely in like a handsome way. He's really not that handsome. He's slightly handsome, but I mean in a way that he is just an awesome trader. So David Gamble is the guy that got me into cryptocurrencies, believe it or not. So I'm really pumped for you guys to meet this guy. So let's take a look at the charts, and then let's get into all the stuff that we've got to get to. All right, so let's first talk about Bitcoin. Hot damn. By the way, it looks like it's about to go in a hot second. So over the last few weeks, while there's been nothing to do, we have been talking about when Bitcoin stabilizes, what needs to be done. How do we know when it stabilizes? So we were looking for an area for it to stabilize. So you can see here, like it just hasn't. You know, we hung around this 10,000 for a while, but there was no support underneath minus the 10,000 price support. So it ran to the 200. Now, once it ran to the 200, it knifed right through. But guys, this is one of the most powerful things you can do in trading. Once it knifed through, it remounted its 200 SMA. When something remounts to 200 SMA, oh boy, that's a powerful thing. Because what it's telling you is that there's confirmation in that area, that there's confirmation in this zone. So that's the first thing we look for. But look, the 9 EMA has been rejecting Bitcoin for the last month. And so one of the first things that I was looking for that we talked to last week was when that 9 EMA flattens out, it's going to tell us that the short-term trend is flattened out. Then once we can stay over the 9, that's going to tell us that on a short-term basis, we are ready to go. So now that we've based over the 200, we broke over the 9. Oh man, we have boom, 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 boom. Now broke over the 20. We have confirmation that the reversal is real. By the way, guys, I'm literally adding some Litecoin as we speak. So hold on. Before we talk about Bitcoin, I'm adding this thing for a breakout as we speak just now. 5 seconds ago, I've added literally some more Litecoin. I've been in this thing for a little bit. I'm adding some right here. We are going to be doing a, you know, I added this just now in Binance. I've been fully loaded in GDAX. I just added a little bit more of my Binance account. And dude, we are ready to shred this thing. It looks hot. It looks sexy. It looks delicious. This is a classic intraday flag pattern. So after this beautiful spike, what we have doing here is we've come back and consolidated. We pulled back to about 200. We remounted its moving averages. We've made a higher low. We tested resistance again. Then we tested again. Guys, when you have a breakout and you test that resistance 3 times and you get your moving averages curling up right up under it, it's a buy. It's a secondary breakout. My stop loss will go right under this area right here. So I'm going to risk $4 to potentially watch this thing break out to 20 while class is going. We'll come back to this. Let's get back into the Bitcoin because this is, oh, by the way, this looks like it's going to break out too once it breaks over that. Guys, the daily chart of Bitcoin has given me the ominous canal decide, bulls on Wall Street, marination station, percolation, conglomeration setup. It is looking good. It's looking zesty. It's looking nice. As you can tell, I'm excited today because we've been sitting around in the weeds, in the darkness, with nothing to do but hodl and complain and think about the glory days. Well, those glory days are returning. We have made America great again. All because of the Bitcoin. Breaking back over this thing. It's off to the races, guys. I'm really liking the breakouts and the bottoming patterns in this. We believe in America, and it is great again. I'm loving this thing. We like it. It's zesty. You guys better be in it, percolate in it, marinate in it. This BNB looks ready right now. I'm about to add some of this too. Holy dude, this is Binance coin. This thing looks ready right now, and I am adding it. Let me alert it to my chat room here. Hold on. Woo! Dun, 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 dun. And we also have got some Ripple from 102. Hold on, guys. These guys will be very mad. These guys will be very mad if I don't let them know. All right, we are in the game. Guys, there is percolation station going on over here. This is the way to do this. Guys, I'm really liking this Ripple. There is a lot of different stuff that's just, man, it's looking zesty. That's all I can tell you. That the time is now to get back in these things. We've been waiting for a long time. I also like ADA. I've been watching the ADA BTC pair. I like to look at things in USD, but often I'll buy them in the BTC pairs or the ETH pair, whichever one's looking better. The LTC, because it's on GDAX, you know, we can just go USD life on that. But boy, we are percolating, my friends, percolating. So let's get this going. Guys, the market is back. I am full size in all sorts of names here. I also like this one last one that I like right now. If this BCH breaks right here, I will add this also on GDAX. I got to transfer some more money from my Coinbase USD wallet to do it. I love the daily chart on this, guys. This is the marination station, as my dear friend, the Shred Lounge would tell you, Taylor Jordan, the legend himself. See right here what we've got? Look at this basing action. Test, test, test. This is what we want clean. Guys, when you're looking for charts, you want clean charts. Can I identify the levels where I would stop out? Can I identify the levels of the breakout? Everything is good. Look, hold on. I can't draw these damn straight lines on TradingView lately, but it's looking right there. Oh, I don't think it'll straight. Oh, there it is. There it is. Look at that. That's a little box right there, ain't it? It's looking good. I love this one. If it breaks out here, guys, I'm adding these. I'm going in for the revival pattern of the coins. The coins were hated. Your friends probably told you. I told you so. You saw on the Facebooks when Bitcoin was going down, you heard all the I told you so's. This thing was a bubble. We heard it all. But we stayed true, didn't we not? We stuck to the principles that guide us. And here we are. The return of the king is back. It all starts with Bitcoin. Ethereum's going, Litecoin's going. So I am very excited. So my holdings right now, I've got Litecoin, right? I've got some BNB. I've got some XRP. I'm looking to add BCH. And beyond that, I may be playing a lot more. Now, let me introduce you to the Tampa legend, all right? If you guys don't know much about Tampa, Tampa is the home of silicone, a lot of white trash, the dirty South, and they have Magic Mike, Channing Tatum's from there, and they've got some of the world's best strip clubs full of some of the weirdest things that could happen around. This is David. He is one of my students. I met him when he was just coming out of college, actually, and it was rowdy when I met him. This has been 2 or 3 years ago. He got out of college. He was looking for sales jobs when he was getting out of college. And he was actually the one that told me that I needed to be trading cryptos. Like, he was the one that was like, dude, I'm like doing this Bitcoin stuff. Like, you've got to check it out. And I'm like, well, I don't know anything about it. He's like, nah, man, you just do the same patterns. And I'm like, oh, I don't got to change anything. He's like, no, not really. Just do what you do. And I'm like, all right. So, like, I opened up a GDAX account, and it was awesome because at the time, David, remember, GDAX was giving you the 5-to-1 leverage. So you could long and short, and GDAX actually worked. Like, it was awesome. And Bitcoin was at $800, $900 at the time. And so it was just like the wild, wild west. Litecoin was just sitting around at 20. It was like untradeable at the time. It just sat there. But Ethereum was making its run, and everything got really, really fun. And so David, I owe him a big thanks because not only is he a good friend, but he's my go-to guy. Like, when I have trouble, like my treasure, like I had to call him like at midnight when I started trading. It's not even when I started trading. This is like a handful of months ago. I'm like, dude, I want to get this treasure working. Like, is it going to be complicated? I got to plug it in. You know, like, I just had so many questions, and he was like my go-to guy for all of that stuff. And he's been teaching me about mining, and he's the one that really, I still don't get him a lot, and I don't trade him as much, but he's the one that's like, you got to always check out the altcoins. He goes, yeah, so what if you make 30% on Ethereum? Like, I'm finding coins that run 200% or 300%, like storage. He was like obsessed with this storage coin for a while. And so he's like really the guy that kind of taught me all this. So David, welcome. I'm going to stop talking. I'm very excited. I just got up from my nap. I've had like 3 MCT oils and a couple athletic greens today. David, why don't you give us a little bit about your background, what you've been up to, how you got traded in these coins, and just a little bit about your cryptocurrency kind of education of how you got started and where you've been making your money. And I've got some questions for you, stuff when you're done with that. And then, guys, after that, we'll walk you through maybe some things that we're looking where we think maybe there's opportunity, not just maybe in coins, but you know, it could be exchanges, mining. David knows a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff, and he's got his own company that he just started that he'll be telling you guys about. So it's been pretty cool. David, why don't you give us a little rundown? Give us your life's biography in 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes. I will try to do so. Okay, so thank you, Kunal, for the introduction. Basically, man, I started like everybody else. Um, to be honest, man, I come from a real genuine place. The way I started in trading, it really just it all resorts back to you, right? I was coming out of college, and even in college, I was looking to learn how to trade, and I went and found Kanal. I was looking and searching for him for a year, actually emailing and social media and so on and so forth. We ended up meeting out here in St. Petersburg, and that's kind of how that relationship started. Went out with Butt Dog and Kanal there. We had a great time. It was awesome, and ever since then, I was hooked on trading. And prior to that point, my one of my best friends actually in Huntsville, he owns a cell phone store called CwK. He introduced me to mining. He had this huge mining center inside of his house, and I was like, dude, what is this? What do you have going on here? And he started breaking it down to me about Bitcoin and crypto, and I fell in love with it. I just went down that rabbit hole, as they say. And after that, I kind of just put two and two together. And to be honest, I was having a real tough time with not only accumulating funds from my point, right, and the fact that my family had just we were going through a bankruptcy, and it was tough. It was a real tough time for me, and it was hard for me to accumulate cash. So I figured my thing was why not get involved in something that had a little bit more of an opportunity for me, um, in terms of not having to go through the pattern day trading rules and so on and so forth, right? So I got involved and started looking at different exchanges, and I opened up a Gemini exchange. At that point, I got into a car accident. I fell into a little bit of cash, and I dumped some cash into ETH, right? And this was at a low point, and it was awesome, man. I seen it was me and my real good friend, and my real good friend Deji Olawoye, who's the head founder of Coincentrics Capital, and we started going at it, man. We were just we were seeing these huge runs, and at the time, Litecoin was actually like $5, like $4, and I mean we're catching this thing, ripping this thing, going. $20 spreads. It was just ridiculous, right? So, it was kind of a line of events that just hit perfectly for me. And since that point, I obviously, I made a little bit of money, and that's kind of how that whole thing happened, right? But I've always had that, the true fascination of and curiosity of crypto solely lies behind the technology. See, the technology is something that's here to stay. And once you go down that rabbit hole, like most people will, when they start getting involved in crypto, it just puts them in that whole other realm of just getting bewildered with so many cool new technologies, right? So, I was I just started taking everything I learned from Kanal's class on Bulls on Wall Street, and it's tremendous thanks, man, because at that point I swear I didn't have any. It was ridiculous, right? So everything, like I'm telling you, everything kind of went down on a path, and Bulls on Wall Street really helped me. It really helped me. Since then I ended up I ended up using a lot of the technical analysis that I learned in that class, in those classes in boot camp, and really applying those to crypto. So, and that really helped me. So now I got the company that I have going now is Bitcoin Wolf, which would be out in a few weeks. We'll be launching. And yeah, I try to condense it as fast as possible, man. But that's
It's your
that's
game.
that's pretty much that story, man. It's
Hey, so
you
let
know
me let me ask you some questions. So I get this a lot actually. So I thought one of the things was kind of interesting was, you had, and I find a lot of my students kind of run into this. The stock market can be like so restrictive because of all the damn rules. Like you have to have 25,000. You can only open at, really one of 3 or 4 places. You can only trade really from 9 to 4, but really only the first hour has any action. There's just all these kind of things. But a lot of times too, I think one of the hard parts and where they've made it difficult for, the new person or a retail trader is, I mean, it costs just as much money to open a damn Subway as it does a $25,000 trading account, because it's not really 25,000, right? It's 25,000 to be able to day trade. But then if you lost $1, you wouldn't be able to day trade. So you're really looking at, if you want to give yourself like a fair shot to trade, you would need 30 or 35, really, right? If you're new and you need to give yourself a cushion, well, $35,000 is quite a lot of capital. But also, like, I've noticed this in cryptos, like $35,000 in cryptos, like you can like make some interesting moves with that. Like, it's not just like in stocks, because everything's higher priced and everything moves slower. If you're day trading 35,000, you might have 1 stock at a time or 2. In cryptos, it seems like you just have, your money can go a little bit farther if you know what to do with it. And then also, so why don't you give us a rundown of like kind of like why you thought cryptos could be better for a new trader than stocks, and how or why like your money can just go farther, in cryptos than, a lot of other things like options or, I don't even know some of the stuff that people get into.
Well, I mean, my thing is that I think they're all valid. I think that, a trader is a trader, right? You're a trader. You're set out. You're the best trader out there. But, for newbies, I believe that, especially in this crypto market, we've never seen anything like this, right? We have, we're seeing things going, 1,000, 2,000% in a year like it's nothing. And as a trader, you're definitely those are the things that you're looking for. So, not only is it just so accessible. See, the whole point of decentralization is to make everything accessible to everybody, right? And that's the thing that's fascinating. It's because it's a trader's wet dream, and it's an investor's best scenario, and it's truly like that because as a trader, it's extremely difficult to, if they didn't have an option or they didn't know about bulls, it's extremely difficult to open up a brokerage account that has access to certain kind of shares to either short or go long. And when I'm talking about that, I mean like something like interactive brokers, right? You need $5,000-10,000 just to open an account, and when you're a newbie, for me it was difficult to open something like that, right? Like I didn't have 5 or 10 grand to put up to open up an account at the time, so it was really difficult. And the reason why crypto makes it's so much better is because there's certain times where you could really, you can stretch. I'm talking coming from a place where, coming from a $500 account or even a $2,000 account or a $5,000 account, you know, somebody with a lower minimum minimum kind of range in their wallets, it's your best place to play. I mean, you got to go where you can eat, and the only place you're going to eat right now, in my opinion, and again, I want to. None of this is that I'm saying is financial advice, but what I'm saying is that anything that is involved in the crypto market at this point is nothing short than just revolutionary. It is the epitome of what you want to see as a trader, flat out, right? So for me, um, trading trading gave me life, right? I mean, I knew I wanted to be a trader, a full-time trader since day one. That's just my goal. I didn't really have an option B, and it's that's still what it is for me, right? It's always been like that. There's so many different avenues, and so many people that have a negative publicity that people hear about with trading, that it's really difficult to find something like this, right? So for a newbie, if you have the opportunity, I definitely say get active, get involved. This market is revolutionary. It's what we're seeing. It's like the dot com. Kanal, I'm sure you had the pleasure of trading the dot com bubble, but someone like me, I didn't have that pleasure, and I definitely didn't think I was going to see that again, right? Those that market style and conditions. But this is times 10, right? This is times 10. So we're really able to capitalize on a lot of those things. I got a lot of buddies that have made life-changing money in a very short amount of time because of how volatile, not only how volatile the market is, but how much this market has really just skyrocketed to the next atmosphere. So it was good. It was definitely a great thing for me, and I definitely recommend um, trading crypto, or at least getting involved with crypto, with any person that's looking forward to either just testing something out new, or they're just open minded about the whole new new age technology that we're now starting to see.
So David, give me a rundown, because we get a lot of new people on this. So if
Yeah.
you're brand new and you know a little bit about charts, or you've been reading up on the cryptos or whatever it might be, like, where do you start? Like, where would you go, and like, where would you look to open accounts? What charting would you use, or any other tools? And like, what kind of trades like would you be looking at if you had a small account you're trying to build? Like, what type of, are you looking at, like altcoins? Is it like Bittrex types coins, Binance type coins? Give me a rundown. Brand new. I'm
Okay,
your
so
cousin, and I'm like, man, David's made all this money. Hey, cuz, hook me up. I know you don't have time to walk me through day by day, but give me, where do I start? Point me the right way.
all right, so the first thing I would definitely say is to open a Gemini account, or a Coinbase account, right? Coinbase is the most user friendly, and the reason I would say to go with either Gemini or Coinbase as a newbie is just because of how accessible they are. They're just so accessible, and not only that, they're heavily regulated in the U.S., which is exactly what you want. And they take USD, fiat currency. So as a newbie, I'm coming in, I have $500 or even $250, and I'm speaking for those people that have little to nothing, and they're just trying to either test it out, or before they go dick out, as they say, or they're just that's literally what they have, right? So that $500 trader, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look for, and again, none of this is financial advice. You're going to want to look for Gemini. Go ahead and make your deposit, um, and get your BTC. And I like to use margin, right? As a margin, because that's exactly what I do. I had a lot of experiences with a lot of different exchanges. Bittrex, Binance, Kraken. Pretty much every exchange that's out there. I've pretty much gone through, and I've tested. But definitely as a newbie trader, the best thing and best exchange to use after you've made that purchase of your initial $250 or $500 of uh, of BTC using your USD fiat. You're gonna want to move and transfer that BTC over to either Polynex or Binance. Um, I think Polynex for me to newbie traders. Now again, no exchange, and this is and you can take this for what it is, right? Because I know I've gone through certain situations that it allows me to say exactly what I'm about to tell you, which is you do not want to leave currency or any kind of protocol. You do not want to. You do not want to leave any kind of protocol on any of these exchanges. These exchanges are purely to buy and sell. They are not exchanges to leave money on. One of the biggest mistakes is people leaving money on these exchanges, and God forbid something like Mount Gox or something like one of like what just recently happened out in China. Something like that happens to your accounts, your entire account is gone. There's no coming back, right? So, that's exactly why you want to take the precautions. Now, again, as a trader, keeping that in mind, you always want to play safe. So you always want to, keep that treasure on you and understand that, yeah, I can go to Polynex, trade margin, right, and go 2.5 times leverage and use that BTC that I have, right, and now instead of $250 or $500 or $1,000, it's 2.5 times that, and I'm looking at purely, altcoins, right? So now I'm I'm getting into the, I'm bringing down that sector, and I'm looking at and monetizing that to a point where it would make much more sense for me to actually trade and to try to make a little bit of money, right? So at that point, after you've after you've monetized, what you're going to actually look at. And the reason why I love Polynex for this is because they have a selected few, right? They don't have 100 different alts that you can possibly trade. So many traders get overwhelmed with so many of these altcoins, and they think every one of these, especially newbies, they think every one of these alts are great protocols, and it's bullshit. 98% of all these alts are going to go to shit, and that's just what's going to happen. So you always want to keep that in mind. So understanding that and not having that huge flood of just of alts that are in the space, you really can monetize on what can I do with what I have there, right? So for me, you know, whenever I'm trading, I have a selected few on Polynex. There's only really, if you have a smaller account, if you have a $2,000, $5,000 account or a $500 account, there's literally only 4 or 5 of them that you can trade. So why not use that 4 or 5 and really kind of monetize on those and start looking for setups and technical analysis that can really help you out with looking into getting yourself into a good position to actually make
So,
profit,
Dave,
right?
let me touch upon something that you're mentioning. So, you said these exchanges are strictly to buy and sell. If you're going to be holding something for longer than a day, essentially, get them off the exchange. So,
Right.
what are some tools, or just for a lot of them, they don't even know what that means, get them off an exchange. Like, where do you go? What do? You sending them to like paper wallets, regular wallets? I think probably a lot of people don't even know about wallets in general. I mean, what are you doing to get them off the exchange? What are you doing for your security?
Well, for security, that's the biggest part. I don't think enough people talk about security. And everybody's so fascinated about crypto, but the truth of the matter is that with great potential comes great responsibility, right? And Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain technology has given us precisely that. We have that potential to go so far, but the thing is that it's literally on us, right? This is the first time that we've ever seen decentralization, to the point where people are actually able to govern themselves and what they want to do, right? So they are completely 100% liable and responsible for what they actually have going on. So when I'm looking at getting looking at transferring my tokens or my protocols off of the exchange and going into my wallet, my secure wallet, hardware wallet, which is what I use, right? There's a few different types of security protocols that's out there. Hardware wallet is the best, right? Nothing that I'm saying here you can't find yourself, and you'll be able to. I hope you'll be able to back to this video if you ever need to. A Trezor is one of my favorite hardware wallets, as well as a Nano Ledger. Um, is definitely two go-to hardware wallets that I think are pretty much like the two most popular. The place that you can get them is either on my website, bitcoinwolf.com, or you can go to Amazon and you can go ahead and get it there, right? So you can do that. Those are extremely safe, right? I think it goes really more in depth with, especially if you have a little bit more of a bigger account. This is talking for people that have 6 figures plus. You're gonna want to have that white IP address, and you definitely want to have certain other things that would allow you to be secure and know that if anybody tried to actually withdraw any kind of uh, any kind of currency from your actual account due to a hack, it would actually just go directly to that actual wallet and storage. So yeah, so I mean, it goes deep, but and again, I mean, that's time for another conversation and everything, man. But
You can really go down a rabbit hole with that whole
oh
conversation.
yeah, for sure.
But
I
the
mean,
moral of the story is, so use a Trezor or a Ledger. What is there an advantage between the Trezor and Ledger? I have both. I find the Trezor a lot easier to use than the Nano. The Nano feels like it's gonna break all the time.
yeah, the Trezor, it's definitely, I'd say it's a little bit more user friendly than the Nano. The Nano just takes a little bit of time getting used to. The Trezor, it's just it's really for your favorites, right? The crowd's favorites. You have your BTC, your ETH, ETC, BCC, and for people that don't know what I'm talking about, it's Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. You got your Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, and a few others and stuff. And it's really simple. They make it really, really user friendly. So basically, anybody that has any kind of computing knowledge, which I'm assuming getting into crypto, you're going to have a little bit, you'll be able to kind of figure it out, right? With Nano, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. It's nothing too fancy, but Nano is specifically not only for BTC and ETH and some of the other major crypto or protocols, but it's also for a lot of altcoins. Right now, that's a big deal because if you're a big hodler and some of these other altcoins, then you're definitely going to want to take advantage and having a security method like this for you to have. So yeah.
Cool. So let me ask you a couple questions. So how long did it take for you to kind of figure out your particular strategy for cryptos? And also, what kind of cryptos do you like to trade? Like, what are some of your bread and butter type of coins or setups?
Yeah. So, I'll start with my my setups, right? Or
Yeah.
So basically, my setups and the things that I love to trade, my go-tos are Stellar and BTS. I mean, they have, for me, again, I love trading on margin and I love having an in and out. And not only that, I just feel like Polynex, and again, none of what I'm saying is financial advice. These are just my opinions.
Yeah.
um, I definitely I just love the fact of how accessible they make it. Right, you can have Litecoin and you can transfer it into your Polynex, and transfer it into your margin account, and you can trade that Litecoin that you have and not have to exit your position, and basically be able to have some Bitcoin there, have Bitcoin in place of Litecoin in order to trade some of these different altcoins. So, I love the fact that you're able to actually take advantage of trading on margin and not have to exit out of your position. Like, let's say you bought Litecoin, a few weeks ago at $140. you know, you don't have to let go of that position. You can keep that position going and have kind of two birds working with, you know, you can kill two birds with one stone, right? You can have that long Litecoin position working for you, and then all of a sudden, you know, you may see a position that might open up or a setup that might open up with like BTS or Stellar, and you can really take advantage of something like that, right? So, yeah, and not have to cost you anything, right? In terms of exiting in a position. Right now, the negative to that is if you do, you know, lose or take a loss, you know, it's going to be reflected on the actual Litecoin that you have. But any kind of profits that you have, you're getting paid out in Bitcoin. And you know, we have to remember that this is not USD, right? Bitcoin and paying attention to BTC is always the key to this industry. Uh, you know, with Bitcoin Wolf and everything, that's, you know, we get a little bit more in depth, and I'm sure, you know, Bulls on Crypto Street is also, you know, really all this stuff. You know,
I don't
uh,
want customers. I find crypto traders to be degenerates in general. Hey,
yeah.
so let me ask you this. Just run me through a couple of your most I normally ask people biggest trades, and that's so subjective because my biggest trade was like all luck, so it's not even very memorable for me.
I can tell you my biggest trade, man.
But just give me a couple of your most memorable trades that really define who you are. Why are you sitting on that Rick Ross desk chair with your whiteboard in the back? You're such a YouTuber right now. Ooh, right? Hey, my mentor Joel Saladin told me the 3 successes to life are. Hey, hold on. Oh my gosh, there's a blackboard behind me. Oh, I can teach you something. One, pie my class. 2, suck my balls.
So you know, some of my most memorable trades and some of the trades that really just defined me become, you know, just taking this thing full time was actually with one of my best friends, which his name's Deji Olawoye, and you know, they're having a conference out in Birmingham on the 22nd. Coincentrix capital is, and actually we were on the computer, and we're both into crypto heavy, and uh, you know, Litecoin at the time was literally at like $5 or $4, and this thing ran to literally like $27 or $30 in a day. If not, I think it actually ran up to like $35. That single day, you know, you have a couple thousand shares of that thing at $5, you know, you're taking that home, right? Yeah, I mean, you
It
know, it
changed the
was,
whole life.
yeah, it changes your whole life. And the day after that, I bought tickets you know, I started getting myself some tickets and stuff to go out of the country because I've always wanted to travel, and it was pretty overwhelming. So that was definitely my most memorable trade. Another trade for me was just the very first time I you know, I was working at the car dealership, uh, and you know, being a sleazy salesman and trying to make a little bit of money, and I I I, uh, I had that a little bit of capital from a car accident, and you know, I contacted one of my friends, and told him, gave him an idea of Gemini and getting involved in Ethereum, because with Gemini, I'm a big fan of the Winklevoss twins, and
You love Gemini. I've never heard anybody say they love Gemini. They only got 2 tickers you can trade, right?
yeah, but it's not about the ticker. It's about the efficiency for me, right? I think especially at that time and point, I mean, Ethereum was literally at like, you know, it was $8. It was like $4, $9.
See, you're like a true believer. I'm just a crypto
Oh yeah.
lord. I don't even care about the technology.
Oh
I
yeah.
want to make money. I'd peddle my mama to make some money.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I had my back to the wall, right? I had just got out of a pretty bad relationship, and you know, I was back to the wall, and I was trying to figure out, you know, yeah, I was pretty much like, look, I'm just gonna go dick out. You know, I'm probably gonna spend this money in the club anyways, so I ended up, taking what I had and putting it into Ether. And to this day, that's literally been the defining moment of uh, of how everything pretty much got started for me, right?
Okay. Give me a pattern or a buy strategy that you like, that you utilize for like either getting into swing trades or day trades. Like, so you like buying Stellar and BTX and some other ones. Like, how do you choose your entry point? Like, how do you get into these bad boys? Give me the juice on how you make some money.
So the way I love to get into, some of my go-to setups, and one of my very favorite setup is a setup that I actually learned in the Bulls on Wall Street bootcamp, which is the flat top breakout. I absolutely love the flat top breakout. It is by far my favorite setup to trade, especially in a bull market like this. And um, and something that something that's definitely worked in my favor pretty much, I'd say 8 out of 10 times that I'm trading it. And that's a pretty realistic pretty realistic ratio there. Yeah, and the reason why we have the reason why we have these setups and we're able to take advantage of these setups is because there's so much momentum, right? Some of the things that I learned as a newbie coming into Bulls on Wall Street years ago was, having that momentum and, be that back burner for you and also having that thrust, right? So, I'm really just aligning time frames. I'm using using the technical analysis that I learned back in the day, and I've improved some things that I kind of adjusted for myself because of the fact of my personality. Kanal, he's a wild man. I mean, he's all over the place sometimes, and I couldn't keep up with him, right? Trading 2 minute charts and stuff. It really just I couldn't get it, right? It just never. Yeah, you're fast. I mean, some traders are like that. For me, I had to find my own style, and my style was being a little bit more patient with the ball, right? So I had to really see that pitch coming in, and try to time that entry as best as I can. So I like to use hour time chart, hour time frames, 4 hour, daily, monthly, sometimes. And majority of the time, I'm not really day trading as much anymore. I'm actually swinging a lot of my positions. Just looking to get the best kind of spread um, possible that I can potentially get.
So you like swing trading. What kind of hold times you got on these bad boys? Like when you're swing trading, like when I call swing trading in my chat all the time. And by swing trades, I'll turn into day trades because I'm so damn good at day trading. Everything I buy explodes, and then I got to turn them into a day trade.
Yeah.
What kind of hold times do you got?
Yeah. It really depends. I mean, sometimes, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's some points that I'll just get in and out of a position, and I'll be in a position for, I'd say my average hold time is anywhere between, I'd say 2 to 4 hours. Between that time, if I'm actually day trade, if it turns into a day trade. But for a swing, I can run a swing for 2 weeks, and not have a worry in the world. My last best trade for the year was actually with Stellar. Catching that nice rip to the upside. Uh, it was like I think it was like a day, but the day after Christmas, or it was like the day before Christmas when it just ran.
Yeah.
And it just continued to run. I mean, I think I made like 300% on that trade. So those are the trades that I look for personally, and you know uh, just having that understanding and that ground fundamental knowledge of what the protocol is actually, what the utility is, and crypto for a lot of the noobs out there, the first thing that you definitely want to ask yourself before even paying attention or putting some of your hard-earned money into some of these alts is, what is their true utility? What
Yeah.
is their true utility? Like, do they really have utility?
So how do you
And
find that out? Okay, so you talk about that a lot, and I'm always asking you the questions. I asked all the guys in my chat room the question. So utility. So there's banana coin and storage coin. I just saw this hot chick, the Bitcoin Bay. I was blowing her up on Instagram, sending her these like little creepy little messages. See if she want to hang. But she always posts these ICO videos. Bitcoin Bay, so hot. I'll send you the thing. Maybe you can lock her down. She's so smoking. But sometimes she's like, okay, these ones have the technology. This is the most I know about the technology. I follow this girl because she's hot. But some of them are stupid, right? There's like banana coin and this coin. Like the banana coin is each coin you get a bushel of bananas from Laos. You got shit you up. Now there's other ones that have like some are like exchanges. Like I trade this one that's like the Ethos exchange that's coming out, BQX. I've made some good money on that because, I like their website. And I'm like, you know what? This looks kind of like this would be a cool exchange. And so, like, I'm like, all right, good enough for me. But, like, how do you know? Like, where do you find the research to figure out if the coin has any utility? Like, what are some sources or what would you do? Do you read the white paper? Do you, have, like, blogs or, like, people that you talk to? Like, how do you know what's what?
First and foremost, man, it's all about due diligence. With crypto, definitely, especially as an investor, it requires you to do a lot of due diligence, and it requires you to know a little bit of a know-how, right? I mean, if personally, you have to understand, like I said before, that 95+% of these altcoins that are out right now are strictly, they're literally pump and dumps. And they're just glorified marketers. Prime example was something like Tron, right? I never been a fan of Tron, right? But that was a great great market for you to actually trade, or alt to you for you to actually trade and to really make some kind of market, some kind of money, right? So, you want to look for the utility. If you can find either, something on GitHub, which is a really big network for developers. I'd say, I'm not going to go too much in depth here, but I'd say, get familiar with GitHub. Get familiar with CoinMarket.
Give me the rundown. We'll GitHub.
Yeah, get familiar with GitHub. Chances are 9 times out of 10, if these altcoins don't even have open source coding, they're full of shit, right? Because literally, some of these altcoins are that's what they are. They're just great marketing companies that unfortunately take advantage of the people that don't do the due diligence, and they just take advantage of them. It's something like BitConnect, right? I've been a big spokesman on how BitConnect is a huge scam.
I'm in a webinar.
And BitConnect was a company, and still I think they're still trying to actually get involved or get a little bit more out there. But BitConnect was a company that was literally it was a lending protocol, and they were actually it was a complete Ponzi scheme. And for the person that doesn't really do the research or have an understanding of how to actually break a white paper down and so on and so forth, they're going to go into that thing based on some cool social media influencers that are promoting BitConnect or whatever, and they're going to put their money into this thing, and they're going to lose their money. Meanwhile, the traders are like us. We're the ones that are actually taking time to do the due diligence. We're the ones that are actually able to profit, and I feel for them. I really do, because it really brings a bad name to crypto and to blockchain technology, and what this community has actually been standing for, which is honor, right? You have to have this is a community that's based on trust, and It's unfortunate how many protocols that are out there that are actually just completely, you know, they're just getting away with so much. It's pretty ridiculous. But I definitely say, you definitely want to get involved with GitHub. Um, check them out, and CoinMarketCap. Go and do research. Click around. Get curious. Ask why. Always ask the question why.
All
And
right, all right.
yeah.
Now, Miss One, we need this a little quiet here. Give me a rundown. What was anything fun you buy after you made your first money? You mentioned you were poor, so you're poor one day, you're not poor anymore. And any little toys or favorite gifts that you've gotten to spread the joy to others with?
Um, it was really just the trips, right? I like taking trips. Um, and honestly, it sounds cool, but at that point, because for me, in my mind, um, I was already rich, right? I would literally lie to myself and tell myself that I am going to make $1 million or I'm worth $1 million. And sometimes you speak things into existence just by default, no matter how it is. And that's pretty much how that, if you really think about it, I mean, 9 times out of 10, most people aren't going to know what to spend money on. They just love the fascination of it. I think that for me
Okay,
personally,
okay.
man, it was just taking a trip.
What are you reading or learning right now? What's like your
Um,
new thing? Like I'm always like I got a business coach. He's always giving me bullshit to read and do stuff. Like what are you learning right now?
my complete focus is on Bitcoin Wolf and trying to expand and trying to get everything pretty much pinpointed on how I envision this entire company to be, along with mining operations and seeing how the true just taking advantage a little bit more on where blockchain technology is actually going. Um, and what's actually happening, right? Having that, just trying to get a little bit more of a foresight, and trying to have a little bit more of a of a third eye open to
Okay, okay.
to good possibilities.
Let's play name that chart. So a bunch of people are asking about what's your favorite long-term coin, something that you believe in.
Something that I believe in, I'd say
Your favorite long-term play. I don't even care if you believe in it.
I'm
What's your
I'm
favorite
going with
long-term
ETH.
play?
I'm going with ETH just because of the fact that um because that's what put me on. But at the end of the day, BTC is king. I think people underestimate the hell out of Bitcoin, and they think that just because it's $9,000, it's not all the other. You got to remember, BTC is Big Daddy, right? That's Big Daddy right there. You're not look without BTC. There is no other altcoins. Most of these
You're saying
altcoins,
if you're brand new, you're putting your money in BTC as the investment. Get the
as a
fuck out of here, man. This is
nah, as a long time,
you're
as
Switzerland
a
right now, like you're on a game show. Give us what you're buying. Give me the juice. I want the hot one. I want something that's gonna make me real money.
well, again, I mean,
Sometimes, my friend, you've got to put your balls on the kitchen table while speed chopping carrots and call out a play. I do it all the
um,
time. Give me your favorite, your real favorite.
I
BTC.
have
Come
I
on.
have no favorites, man. Bulls on Wall Street taught me not to have emotion. Yeah,
Ah,
unfortunately.
come on.
They taught me how to not have emotion. I have no favorites. I only see it. I've gotten so numb to so many of
Hey,
these.
let me ask you something. Does it is it hurt Bitcoin over time? Because like the fees to send Bitcoin are so damn expensive. So people used to use it like a PayPal, right? Like I'm gonna send BTC to another person or whatever. But now they just keep talking about, and I don't know anything about this. I never trade or use BTC. Now they're saying that the fees are expensive, the network's slow, and so you can't really use it as a payments gateway. It's just kind of digital gold. Is there, is that a problem for Bitcoin, or is it just kind of just talk?
I think we're still in that beginning stage. There's so many things that we're actually, with SegWits and Lightning Network that's trying to be resolved at the moment for crypto, for Bitcoin especially, that we're really trying to find the best way for the utility. Because right at this moment in time, BTC is only getting used uh, as a form of storage, right? It's not really the true utility of BTC has not yet been used. It's
Okay.
actually just getting started. So, we have a long way to go. That's why, I always say, um, this industry is an industry that's here to stay. And, we're going to have to sit on our hands for a long time, 5, 10 years,
Yeah.
probably less than that. But I'd say a good half a decade, man, before we actually see, the true utility of what BTC and what blockchain technology actually has to offer for mom and pop shops around the world, as well as what BTC can actually do for influence on on transaction network. So.
Let's play name that chart. Somebody asked, what are your favorites charts out of BTC, ETC, or XRM? So let's start with
And
ETC.
or XRM.
Yeah. So what's your favorite chart? So my thinking on ETC is, holy shit, nice run, but we missed the run.
well, first and foremost, Kanal, you have it with ETC USD, and for me, I never look at the USD pairs because USD has nothing to do well, it has something to do obviously, but a lot of times BTC USD or BTC actually is what you want to be looking at for trading in the crypto space. And
I'm just looking at USD because up until 2 weeks ago, I did everything in USDT. I hate Bitcoin pairs with a passion.
Yeah, it's you have to get used to it. You have to. It's a knack, but you definitely want to start.
It's okay. My recommendation is never trade BTC pairs, but you gotta look at it. I can't wait till this USDT news is over and then just say it's good or bad, so we can go back to trading like normal humans. All right, so ETC, BTC. So this is chart 1. So this actually is kind of interesting, right? Because you're coming out of a really nice long range. Now it looks like there's a rumor on that's popping ETC that it's going to be listed on Coinbase or something that seems to be giving it the juice. But overall, this is a bottoming pattern. So it's pretty. That's a powerful setup in itself, right there. So this is setup chart 1. Let's go. So can I look at BTC and USD, or do you only look at BTC? Oh,
I like to see BTC USD.
Okay. Yeah. Well, because BTC would be weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is chart 2. So BTC, after the big pullback, we have consolidated right here at the 200 SMA. You got a 9 EMA curling right up now, and you're breaking over the 20 SMA. So this is also a short-term bottoming pattern. And then the other one he's looking at is XRM. I don't know if there is an XRM.
No, there's XMR, which is Monero, and there's Stellar and
okay, so
and all kinds of
wrong ticker accidentally. So what do you say about these two? ETC or BTC? What are you a fan of?
I'm a fan of ETH, and I'm also it's at that, man, it's really tough to say in terms of charts. I'm gonna go with ETC just because I want to make more money.
I'm talking about just a trade, man.
Just a trade. I'm going with I'm probably gonna go with, what is that? What do you have up right now?
Right now I got
Ripple.
I got some Ripple. I've been buying the Ripple on the Kraken. You can trade USD on Kraken. Kraken's platform started working magically all of a sudden.
Yeah, that the ETC, it kind of looks a little bit overextended, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But this XRP play looks good. I do not trade XRP.
Yeah,
Period.
XRP's a turd. I hated on XRP forever, but this is just a
Uh,
trade. I mean,
yeah, I absolutely hate XRP.
my risk is down to $1. So I got this yesterday in our chat room at 102,
Yeah.
and I mean my stop loss at 96 cents. I'm risking 8 pennies. It's not even 8 pennies, 6 pennies. So I mean, I'm talking right, it's just a few $100 of risk basically.
Yeah, I mean, I've had such a bad experience with trading Ripple. I've literally lost like almost every trade that I've had with Ripple.
Yeah, it sucks.
So I don't trade it anymore.
I'm actually taking a swing trade in this because it's so shitty to trade. But
Yeah.
as a swinger, I got 102 average. So far I'm good. So I do like this one. What do you think of BCH?
BCH, man, is tricky because I play there's a lot of times where I'm actually using some fundamentals that I'll always incorporate in terms of.
So Bitcoin fanboys hate BCH, but BCH fanboys say that Bitcoin is slow and expensive, and that BCH is the real Bitcoin. But everybody,
yeah, I mean, I've actually, I've been a big. I think Bitcoin Cash is something that's gonna go a long way, but at the end of the day, in terms of trading, I mean, the chart looks nice, right? There's a nice bullish engulfing chart right there, candlestick right there, and it looks like we're ranging. Looks like we may take this thing up, to the upside pretty soon. So, I mean, it looks nice from a chart standpoint, but if I'm talking about investing, personally, it's tough to say, man. I'd probably still go with Bitcoin. That's just me personally, man. I'm a big I'm a big believer in sticking to what you know.
Man, that's what everybody said about MySpace. But look what happened.
Yeah, well,
I don't know anything about the text. All I know is that BTC has 3 letters, BCH has 3 letters, XRP has 3 letters, and they're all different prices.
right.
That's all I care about. I'm just trying to make money. I'm not trying to make $1 billion. I'm just trying to make millions.
I hear that.
All right, cool. So just the last couple questions. So you got your new project, the Bitcoin Wolf. You're also into mining and stuff like that. Let me ask you, because I get questions on mining all the time. I just can't brush it off. Is mining profitable anymore? Some people say the ROI is not as good as it used to be. Some people are saying, well, if you do it right, the ROI is good. Is there still money in mining? And if you hypothetically are just some retail guy, like there's so many mining scams out there too, right? These kind of you see on a Facebook all the time where you join some mining community and they promise to pay you like 1% a day or 1% a week, and they do like the tables where it's like, if you invest in our mining, we're gonna pay you 5%
cloud storages, cloud mining.
And then before you know it, you stop getting your payments. So like, is there money left in mining?
I mean, that's like asking, is there money left to be made in Bitcoin, right?
No, I'm just asking you. Maybe you don't gotta make fun of me. Shit.
No. You know what? My point in saying that is that there is definitely money left to be made in Bitcoin. We have to remember, I think a lot of people that are super
Bitcoin, the mining of anything is mining.
I'm talking about mining. See, we have to remember that this industry has just now started. In 2009, and in 2009 when Satoshi first did the first transaction, it was when that transaction was made, and it was mined for literally 50 BTCs.
Yep.
Since that point, we've gone to a whole nother stratosphere that a lot of people just did not think that was possible. I think, right now, we've only just gotten to, we're still less than a decade out of the first mine. Essentially the first time BTC was actually in the network, the first transaction. So and we have a long ways to go. Mining is extremely profitable if you know what to do, right? And that's the truth. I definitely do believe that um, mining can be extremely profitable. You just have to, there are a lot of variables, and it's not as easy as what people make it seem. There is a lot of variables that you have to consider, and you have to do a lot of due diligence.
Is the cost of all computer equipment going up? Does that skimp on the profits of mining? Everywhere you go. I remember I got this buddy that used to build these rigs, man. He built these mining rigs for like $800 a couple years ago. Yeah. Now he's like, man, these rigs cost $3,500. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, man, NVIDIA's jacked up the price of the graphics cards.
Yeah. I mean, right now, it's such a hot market. They literally can't keep anything on the shelves. They're literally getting sold out within like minutes. Once they have a new order and stuff. So, I'd say it could definitely be it could be a toll, man. It is expensive. It can be a little bit pricey, but it's definitely worth the while.
What's a mining rig cost? Give me some numbers. Give me an idea what a mining rig would cost a layman. A range, if I wanted to get into mining.
I don't like to get into ranges, man. It just depends on how much. It really depends on what you're looking to actually buy. Um, for somebody that's just not really taking it serious and just trying to get involved, I'd say don't spend anything. How about just going on? You can't really mine on computers, but I'd say get informed and get educated on mining pools. Understand.
Okay, so you're going with mining pools. All right, that's what I'm asking. Is I don't know.
Well, you actually need you actually need a mining pool to mine, anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you join a mining pool. Are there like some well-known ones that are you think reputable, or are they all kind of you got to really hunt around for a good one?
No, I mean, yeah, there's some really well-known mining pools and everything that are out there. It just really depends on what you're actually mining, because not every mining pool has the same kind of alts. Majority of them actually have certain different alts and certain different tokens and pairs and everything that they do have for you to actually do the actual process. So
when you're mining, do you have to change around the stuff you mine all the time because of profitability, or is it kind of like there's like kind of a few hot things that are worth mining and the rest kind of stink?
Well, that goes into what your game plan is from the jump street. So that's why I'm saying that
that's why people are here, man. They want the information. Give us a couple tidbits.
That's what I'm saying, that you got, I'd say people have to get educated on what they're actually trying to mine, because the process of purchasing a mining is very specific. You can't pretend to be mining ERC20 tokens and all of a sudden want to mine, BTC, something within the BTC protocol, because it doesn't work.
So you gotta have different computers.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, so essentially.
Okay. So if I want
it doesn't
Ethereum stuff, I've got one rig. If I want to do BTC, I got the other rig, or I have to join these mining pools essentially.
You're gonna have to do all three.
Okay, I gotta do all three. I need 3 computers.
Yeah, so.
I got you. Any last words of advice for a new trader trying to get in? I said, well, what's B and let's see what B and B said. I'd still hold it till 1050.
Yeah, I'd say new traders, people that are looking to start trading, talk to bulls on Wall Street. Talk to Kanal. Get in there. I'm telling you.
He's on the fluff, man. Give us a real answer. You're brand new, man. How are you? What do you got to do? Give a man some advice. You've been through the struggle.
Get
the real heat. Well, what's a man who's struggling to make it got to do?
Get educated. Everything starts with education.
I've got 50,000 students, man. 45,000 of them are never going to make it because they lack certain things. What do you need to make it? Anybody can buy a DVD. What does it really take to make it? Give me from your heart. What do you got to have?
It takes persistence, man. It really does.
You do. That is the key. It really is. The resilience.
It takes persistence. Yeah. I mean, you know this, Kanal. I mean, since day one, it's pretty much been a battle. And it's been a lot of trials and tribulations to see, uh, to see some things go through the way that you want. And there is no such thing as luck. There's only opportunity that meets preparation, and the opportunity is going to be there for you and especially in the crypto market. But that preparation comes through that hard work and understanding that you got to learn how to take those losses, and really just keep it moving. There's nothing else to really say. You got to take those losses, keep it moving. And if trading is something that you're really passionate about, I mean, this market's never going to go anywhere. Learn. So
That's
learn.
right, baby. Guys, if you want to get good, think about what this is, a job, right? It's no different than any job in the world. You want to be the best at your job, you've got to go out and do what real pros do. But that's just to be good at your job. If you want to be the best, right, you want to make the all-star game, then, right, your preparation is totally different, right? If you want to be Kobe Bryant, the way you prepare is a lot different than if you want to be Jared Dudley, And so just making it to the game is not really enough. If you want to really be good, then you've got to really put in preparation. So how much time did you spend studying every day or just honing your craft?
I'll tell you this. It got to the point where I was literally I remember I was at my old job, and at the car dealership, and I would literally get in trouble for having my computer out. I was actually learning, your courses at the time, right? I would always, they would either take away my laptop or either try to send me home, or I'd get made fun of and stuff, and I'd get told this is not what you want to do, man. I spent hours, I mean, all day and night. I was, you don't really realize it because if you're passionate about something, you don't really realize it. But I spent, I'd say probably 16 hours, 15 hours, night and day. As soon as I wake up, I'm looking at charts. When I have time, I'm looking at charts. When I'm going to sleep, I'm learning. I got class. I'd have class with Kamal, and I'm still studying. Learning more charts. I'd be trading a demo account, and I'd learn. I'd just learn, and I'd say I couldn't even tell you, man. I mean, it was literally night and day for me. That's still how it is.
Good. Guys, let me announce the contest winners. Let me just, before I get off, let me just walk you through our last couple trades, the ones that we're in. So if you guys hold on to any of these into next week, you know what to do. I don't want to hear anybody say, oh my God, he's turned down. Then I'll announce the contest winners. Guys, a recommendation of just when you're learning, also on this YouTube channel, I have like 700 videos, right? Learning crypto's one pattern or two patterns that you can use day in and day out. My preference is to use momentum patterns. So I believe that you should use one breakout pattern, like a flag breakout or a flat top breakout, and then one pullback pattern, which is buying something on weakness, which would be more like a VWAP pattern or a quick pullback pattern. I've got videos on both. And if you can't find them or you're having trouble, just email me and I'll get them to you. Being a specialist in one type of thing, at least when you're new, will help you start making a little bit of money. And then you can start adding layers to what you're trying to do. It's very, very important to have like mastery over a couple subjects in any type of trading, whether you're a master at the fundamentals, the technology, the chart patterns, whatever it might be. You need some kind of edge. That's going to be really, really important in terms of what you're trying to do. So learn one of those patterns. I think is going to be a really good, like, for example, like I'm probably up like $5,000 today just off trading one pattern. And so like if you think about like chart patterns, like this BNB, right? We entered this thing during this this webinar. So this is a flag pattern, right? This is a flag pattern that I've done twice now on BNB today. for some decent rips. So I've got 2,500 shares of this thing at 950. So a flag pattern is, right, when you get a big thrust like this, and then you get a sideways consolidation, and it can be for half an hour, but you want to see in a really, really tight range, and you want to see your moving averages curling up right up under. Say you're holding on your moving average right here. When you finally, what you want to see is that tight range really tightening up, getting tighter and tighter. Shivam, this is for you, buddy. This is what you need to learn because this is the easiest one I trade, right? As that range tightens, once it breaks, you're going to put a stop under the bottom of the range, and now you have yourself in a momentum trade. So, right, if you had 1,000 shares of this, right, you'd be up $600. If you had 500 shares, you'd be up a few $100. But this is like a quintessential momentum trade. I'm going to look to sell out of some of this in just a few minutes. But, you know, right, this is easy money. So this is 15-minute charts. This is, right, a 1 hour hold time. You know, same type of deal. So in Ethereum, Litecoin, I did the same pattern twice today, right? So we entered this thing right on this flag pattern right here. Same type of thing. Big thrust, tight range. I bought the trend line break. It thrusted up a little bit. I sold a few, and then I reloaded into the next flag. See how tight this range is? You can't get any tighter than that. You get power from consolidations, from bases. The tightening of ranges is what makes it, right? So you buy, you know, I got 200, I added a couple hundred shares of this bad boy, and then it's off to the races. See the tightness of this range right here? The range was about $1 right here. The tightness of that range preludes to a breakout. Preludes to a breakout. So that's where we want to go. So I'm buying right here. And I'm putting my stop right under the bottom of the range. So I risked $2 on this. $2 damn. That's nothing, right? On a $200 coin, $2 is nothing. I should have bought 1,000 shares, but I don't keep that much cash at GTech. And then you're off to the races, right? Tight stop, risk $2. You can make $20, $30. That is a flag pattern. If you are brand new, you want to come in with that type of pattern. That's gonna pay the bills right there, guys. That's how you shred, right? That's where you go and shred. And yeah, I'm in my chat room calling these out all day. So, you know, I just told my guys just right now I sold 1/3 of this BNB. Shoot. And what I typically do is put a stop at my buy price to kind of make it a free trade. And that's all you got to do. Yeah, you can join the chat room on the Bulls on Crypto website. I have a trading boot camp for it also if you want to take some classes and all that fun stuff. But Dave, just one last question, because I think this is kind of important when you're talking about a new trader. So you've got your new business, right? The Bitcoin Wolf, and you've got some other things in the hopper. How do you manage a personal life, business, trading? You know, I learned over the years that a big part of my trading success is actually not sitting there studying chart patterns anymore. It's really mentally getting myself up to play the game, to make sure that my fingers can do what my brains know I'm supposed to do, but also so that I had the energy. So this is my 4th fucking webinar today. Do I have the energy to keep actually going to work with passion, with conviction? You know, there's a handful of things you got to do. Like, how do you keep yourself geared up to go out day in and day out? Like, I don't take breaks. I may go out and get drunk. Well, I'll come back in the computer and do a webinar. I'll slosh stuff for you guys. I'll do whatever I got to do. Like, how do you keep it going day in and day out? Like, do you believe in like routines? Do you have like workouts that you do? Like, how do you keep everything organized and going?
You know, actually, man, that's gonna bring up a good little piece from what I'm about to say here. Is yeah, man, I actually I like to run. You know, I think you know, working out is key. You know, when I actually, you know, not too long ago, I seen a huge drift and a huge shift in my trading due to me not working out. So, I believe that, having a clean mind, staying consistent, having that routine, and having that routine is extremely, extremely important. Waking up in the mornings, getting your 5 a.m. workout. You gotta, I come from a football background, and when you're working out and you got that, you have to be an athlete, right? You gotta, like in Bulls on Wall Street, they teach us you got to be a warrior, and to be that, you got to be at your top shape, mentally, physically, in all aspects of life. You've never met a billionaire that was, well, I can't say that, but you never
No,
met.
Bammy's on the Forbes list.
Yeah, right.
I'm
So
self-made.
so you got to stay tip top, man. You always want to be, on top of your game, right? So, so you want to definitely, you always want to be working out and have that routine set to where if you're set to wake up at 5, wake up at 5. If it's 6, do your quick little workout, get your routine going. Have your shake, have your coffee or whatever it is. Then look at the charts. Then I don't look at charts all day anymore. Like I said, I've been swinging a lot of my positions. I don't really, unless the market is at a point where I'm like, this is a hot day, like something like today, like you just said. I'm not on the computer like that. I have my set positions. I'll let them ride, let them rep, and I'm pretty much going along with trying to find my next stop. So, you know,
Work. Guys, that's one of the most important things I've noticed over the years, just a balance kind of life is like, dude, I get up and walk and I get up in the morning and I don't even think about the stock market. Like I used to spend hours I trade stocks more than anything because I'm still the biggest fan of the stock market because in the stock market, you only have to work an hour a day. Cryptos is like all day, night thing sometimes. So I'm still, in the morning getting ready for the stock market. And one of the things I found out is the less I actually sit there and stare at the charts, the better. Because when I stare at each particular ticker too long, I end up being like, I get married to it, right? It's like I'm just in love with that thing. But a big part of my trading that's helped over the years has been like getting up and just like going outside, like walking. I walk miles sometimes, just think about nothing. I live on the beach over here, so I just walk and walk. And, like it could be like 6 in the morning. I'm just walking, like thinking, like getting myself like just ready. I make my phone calls, I FaceTime my mom, then I FaceTime my sister, then I FaceTime the people on my team. I get them all pumped and ready to go. And then, I talk to all my students that I work with one-on-one. Then I come back home, I get in front of the computer and I get ready to trade. Otherwise, I don't like that whole, like I just sit there and stare at charts thing because that's just a small part of your trading. You can see a chart, but you may not, and you may know what to do, but it doesn't mean you'll actually do it. One of the things that happens with almost all traders, the ones that some of my good students, like, why did you do that? It's like, you saw the chart. He's like, yeah, man, I see the chart. I saw the chart, but I made a mistake. And it's like, why? You knew what to do. And it's like, right, sometimes we know what we're supposed to do, but we still can't do it, right? You ever eat too much pizza? Well, you're not supposed to do that. You ever smoke any cigarettes? You're not supposed to do that. You ever do any cocaine? Right? You're not supposed to be doing that, but yet we do stuff that we know we're not supposed to do. That happens in trading too. So a big part of trading is, right, getting yourself mentally ready to just go, getting yourself in a good place so that you can actually execute your plan. So I'm a big believer in having a very simple plan and then being really mentally ready to just do it and not screw it up. So
Yeah.
I probably haven't told you, but I'm very proud of you, and I do appreciate the help that you've given me on, the stuff like these treasures and, just all the friendship over the last couple of years. I'm excited to see it. I'm really pumped about your success. I'm excited to see this Bitcoin Wolf thing. I may have to come in and troll in your chat room for a little bit and come and say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited to see everything progress for you. It's cool. It's all unfolding, and you're doing it at a really young age, which is just mind blowing. When I was your age, the things I was more concerned with not going to jail for the night, you know, than starting businesses. So that's really awesome. You don't see really too many young people do that. So guys, I appreciate it. Give David a golf clap, right? We don't want to be too rowdy and wake up the neighbors. David, thank you, man. I appreciate everything.
Hey, man, I appreciate you.
Guys, I will see everybody next Wednesday. Oh, shit, the fucking contest. Holy crap. Hold on. Let me grab this guy. Dude, Eric, my business partner, will kill me if I oh my God, if I didn't remember this contest. Contest winners. Michelle Ellis is for the cryptocurrency trading room, the cryptocurrency trading mastery course. Email info@BillsOnWall Street to claim your prize. How does Pat Sajak do it? Guys, and welcome to the Bitcoin Bootcamp Cryptocurrency Mastery Course. The winners are Dylan Conley and number two, here we go, Mr. Just one name like Madonna, but not Madonna. Necto. Please email info@BullsOnWall Street. Wait, Bulls on Crypto, God. Bulls on Crypto Street to claim your prize. Guys, you let me know if you have any questions, anything fun like that. We do trading courses. We do chat room, all of that fun stuff. Guys, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been fast. As they say in my country, hasta la vista, baby. Peace. Guys, I'll see everybody next week. I appreciate it all. Seriously, though, I know we goof around a little bit, but I do appreciate everybody's time. It is hump day. I mean, I'm sure you guys got other things to do, such as hump day, all it's supposed to be. Take care.
All right.